Good morning. I don't have the world's greenest thumb, but growth fascinates me, and so I love gardening and puttering around and learning new things about things that grow. And the thing, hydrangeas, I can't grow any in my backyard because the soil is so full of clay, but hydrangea flowers are amazing in that they are in different colors. You can get purple and blue and pink. Some are very pale, some are very intense. And hydrangea's color is not dependent on pigment like roses. So you can't go out and choose that color. You can, but then when you put it in the ground, it changes. A hydrangea is particularly sensitive to the soil in which it is planted. So, depending on the acidity levels, pH levels, and also aluminum levels, iron, that are all in the soil, it changes colors, right? Those gardeners of you out there, you know this already. But it strikes me so much with a spiritual parallel that the ground in which we are rooted makes a difference in what we produce, in who we are. You look at a hydrangea bush and you see the color and you know immediately what the soil consistency is. What's the pH balance? What's the chemistry going on in the dirt in which those roots are being held? And that's striking to me in so many reasons, in so many ways. Recently, I did a reflection on the vine and the branches, and how the divine says to us, I am the vine, you are the branches. Stick with me. Allow me to continue to nourish you and give you life and be your support. Because separate from me, you will wither and die. But connected to me, you remain healthy, vibrant, alive. Our tendency as human beings is not always to listen, one. Two, not always to want to stay connected. We like to do things our way. We like to be focused on the plan that we've made. But it strikes me as that without being connected to the vine, we wither and die. Without strengthening our connection to the divine, to the God who loves us, every incident in our life, every struggle, every loss, every devastating setback becomes that much more stressful, that much more difficult to carry, because we're doing it on our own. Whereas if we were connected to the vine, or strengthening that connection to the divine and the vine, those burdens become easier to carry. Our hearts are not as at sea when those things happen. We have found a strength and an ability to find an equilibrium because we're connected to the divine, connected to the vine. But going back to hydrangeas, there's a connection there too, isn't there? In what are you rooted? We can see by looking at a hydrangea whether the soil has a high pH level. Is there a lot of iron in there? When people look at you, can they tell in whom you are rooted? Is it obvious who your roots are sunk deeply into? Is it yourself? Is it society around you? Or do your roots go deeper? We're not called just to be rooted in God. We're called to signal that to others. Hey, check this out. My roots are sunk here, and it's doing a darn good job for me. I feel supported in my life. I can weather losses in a different way. Not that we're better, it's just that God becomes our support. So pay attention to what color you are showing to the world. If we're using a hydrangea as an example, pay attention to how you can signal to the world, hey, sink your roots over here. The divine loves you and has your back. And the more you sink your roots into God, the more you look like God.